So it is mainly used to transfer the data from one equipment to another equipment. So that is mainly used to indicate the data transfer between DTE to DCE. By using RS-232C, it's possible to transfer the data from DTE to DCE. The computer is going to activate request to send, that is indicated by RTS signal. Hello to all, a warm welcome to my new session. I am Revati, faculty, Department of Computer Science, Vidyashram First Grade College, Mysore. We are on the 8th session of HDLC and switching technologies. In today's session, I am going to deal with X.25 and I am going to deal with RS-232C. Before going to start today's session, I want to recall the things what I discussed in my last session. In my last session, I discussed what is X.25 and the different types of layers are supported by the X.25. That means X.25 provides 3 different layers to communicate. But in today's session, I'm going to deal with X.21. So here X.21, it is mainly used to provide communication between DTE and DCE. Here DTE nothing but data terminal equipment, whereas DCE nothing but it is data communication equipment. So here it provides state-driven protocol. That means here X.21 is mainly used to provide state-driven protocol and it supports full duplex communication. That means the sender and the receiver both they can able to communicate each other simultaneously. So here X.21 supports the range 9600 bits per second to 64 kilobits per second. So here the X.25 is mainly used to provide communication between two subscriber. So here the subscriber networks nothing but your DTE and DCE. So in the last class we studied what is DTE and what is DCE. There the X.21 is mainly used to provide the physical interface between DTE and DCE. So here it uses circuit switching protocol. That means the X.21 is made up of by using circuit switching protocol and it also supports synchronized ASCII and odd parity to connect and disconnect subscriber to the public switching network. That means the X.25 provides synchronous ASCII as well as odd parity to connect and disconnect the subscriber which is present in the public switching network. And the X.21 provides data transfer phase is transparent to the network. That means whatever the data transmission is going to take place in X.21 is transparent to the network. Then any data can be transferred through the network. That means before going to transfer the data from the DTE to DCE, the connections must be established. That means what are the connections must be established? First, it want to initiate the connection, that is connection establishment. Once the connection establishment is done, then the subscriber can capable to transmit the data. After transmitting the data, then the next step is to disconnect the communication. Suppose if any data can be transferred through the network only after call establishment. Here call establishment is nothing but the connection establishment is made successfully via the X.21 protocol. That means whatever the communication is going to take place in the X.21, that is by using call establishment. So here X.21 performs certain steps like call establishment, data transformation, then call disconnect. These are the some of the works of X.21. Moving further, here we are going to get 8 different signals supported by the X.21. I repeat, here we are going to get 8 different signals which is supported by X.21. In that first one, a signal ground. I repeat, the first signal here is signal ground. So the name itself indicates that it is mainly used to provide ground connection, that is earthing. So here the signal ground that provides reference for the logic state against other circuit. That means we know that whatever the connection is going to take place, that may be in the form of virtual, or it may be in the form of logical, or it may be in the form of physical. But in X.21, whatever the connection is going to take place, that is in the form of logical states, and it is mainly used to provide or connect ground. So here the next signal bit here is DTE, that means data terminal equipment common return. So in short it is GA. So it is used only for unbalanced type configuration. That means suppose if this bit is set, that means if that signal is set, then that indicates that it is mainly used to perform unbalanced type of configuration, that is especially X.26. I repeat, that is especially X.26. And this signal provides reference to the ground for receiver. That means once again this GA provides the ground reference for the receiver in the data communication equipment. So here the DTE common return is mainly used to indicate unbalanced type of configuration, and that is indicated by using X.26, and it also provides signal grounding in data common, that means data communication equipment interface. The next signal here is transmit, and that is indicated by T. So it is mainly used to transfer the data from one equipment to another equipment. So this carries the data in the form of binary signals. I repeat, here it carries the data in the form of binary signals. So that is carried from the DT to DCE. That means whatever the data it is going to transfer from DTE to DCE, that is in the form of binary data. So here whatever the data which is going to transfer, that is in between data equipment terminal and data connection equipment. Then we are going to get the fourth signal type, that is receive. So here once again, whatever the signal or whatever the data it is going to receive, that is in the form of binary signals. That means it is binary data, that is 0 and 1. So then how the signals are received? Here it is from DCE to DTE. So consider the example. So this is my DTE. So DTE means what? Data terminal equipment, and this is connected to packet switching network. Packet switching network. So in packet switching network, we are going to get DCE. So here it is DCE. So this DCE connected to DTE. So suppose if DTE want to transmit the data to DTE, they cannot transfer directly. So what DTE will do? It's going to transfer the data to DCE. Then the DCE is responsible for forwarding the data to next DTE. So here DTE nothing but the computer devices, whereas DCE is nothing but your router or switches. So this is the way the data can be transferred from one DTE to one DCE. So in transmit, this carries binary signals. That means the whatever the data which is there, here the DTE carries binary data. That means binary data means what? It is 0 and 1s, and that is given to DCE. That means data connection equipment. So here the receiver is using during the data transfer or call connect and call disconnect phase. That means the receive signal is used during the phases of data transfer or call connect and call disconnect phase. But the another type of signal here used is control C, and it is controlled by the DTE to indicate that the data is transferred from DTE to DCE. So it is mainly used to indicate that the data is transferred from data terminal equipment to the data connection equipment, and this bit is on during the data transfer. That means this control C signal is on always during the data transfer, and it can be on or off during the call control phase or call disconnect phase. So here the control that is indicated by C, this is on during the data transfer, and here the control C may be on or not, that is during call control phase. That means during call control phase the control signal may be on or off. Moving to another type of signal, here is indication. So that is mainly used to indicate the data transfer between DTE to DCE. So here the DCE controls this circuit. That means suppose if the indicate signal is on, then it indicates that the complete circuit is controlled by the DCE, and it is also indicated to the DTE that the type of data sent by using receive line. So here the indication is mainly used to indicate that whatever the data is sent, that is by using receive line. So here during data phase the circuit must be on. That means while transferring the data the circuit must on, and it can be off or on during the call control phase. So dear student, just remember that whatever the data you are going to send, that time the circuit must be on, and the circuit may on or off during the call control phase. The next signal type here is signal element timing. I repeat, the next type is signal element timings, and it is represented by S. So this provides DTE or DCE with the timing information. So why we require timing information? In order to provide the synchronization between the data bits. So we required timing. That means to provide the synchronization, we require timing. So here this provides the DTE or DCE with timing information for sampling the receive line and transmit line. That means it is going to use the timing information for sampling of receive line and sampling of transmit line, and at the end we are going to get byte timing. So this circuit is normally on. That means where we are going to get the byte timing signal, that signal must be on in order to indicate that whatever the data transmission has been take place, that must be in 8-bit byte. I repeat, whatever the data transmission is going to take place from DTE to DCE, that must be in the form of 8-bit bytes. So these are the some of the signals used in X.21. Moving further, we are going to get RS232C. So here RS232C is provides serial communication. That means whatever the data is transferred, that is in the form of serial data communication, and whatever the data it is going to transfer, that is represented by positive voltage, and it is converted into zeros and ones. So here the RS232 is an interface, or it may be a protocol between the DTE and DCE. I repeat, it is a standard or it is a protocol used between DTE and DCE. So this RS232C protocol is mainly used to provide the connection between DTE and DCE. By using RS232C, it's possible to transfer the data from DTE to DCE, that is in the form of binary. So here RS232 is a protocol or standard. It is used between DTE, that is data terminal equipment, and data communication equipment using serial binary data exchange. So here it is also called serial data communication, and whatever the data you are going to transfer, that is in the form of binary data. So here this C represents current version of RS232. So here it uses universal asynchronous data receiver and transmit. That means here RS232C make use of universal asynchronous data receiver and transmit, and that is attached with your motherboard used to provide the connection for RS232C. I repeat, so here UART, that is mainly attached with your motherboard in order to provide the connection between two equipment or two devices. So the best example here is a computer and printer. Suppose if you want to connect a printer to the computer, then you can able to use RS232C. I repeat, the best example here is the connection between computer and printer. Suppose if you want to connect the printer to a computer system, then you can able to make use of RS232C. So it provides serial data transmission. Whatever the data you're going to transfer, that is in the form of binary data. Here RS232 protocol allow the computer to give the print command. That means here we have taken the example how to establish the connection between printer and computer. Once the connection is established by using RS232C, the RS protocol allows the user to give the print command. So here RS232C requires 25 pin connector for connecting DTE and DCE. Suppose if you want to connect data terminal equipment and data communication equipment, then you require 25 pin RS232C connector. So here the RS232C supports serial data transmission. It is a standard or protocol used between DCE and DTE to exchange the data. Moving further, how to establish the connection by using RS232C. So before going to send any data between DTE and DCE, the connection must be established. I repeat, suppose if I want to send any data between DTE and DCE, the connection must be established, and the connection itself called handshaking. So whatever the connection is going to establish between DTE and DCE is called handshaking. It is a process of establishing connection between DCE and DTE. That is called handshaking. Okay, let's see the sequence of steps performed under single handshaking. The first step here is the computer activates request to send. I repeat, the computer is going to activate request to send, that is indicated by RTS signal to modem. So computer is going to send the request to the modem, and when a data is transferred from the computer to the modem, that means when the computer want to send the data to modem, then the computer is going to activate request to send signal. In the next step, the modem returns active the DCD and then clear to send signal. That means here the modem is going to return active the DCD signal, and at the same time it is also going to send clear to send signal to the computer system. Then the computer is capable to send the data. So what are the steps here going to perform? First, initially computer is going to send request to send signal to the modem. So then modem is going to send the clear to send signal to the computer system. Now the computer can able to send the data. So these are the sequence of steps followed under single handshaking. So what the computer will do? Computer is going to send the signal to the modem, and modem is going to send the signal back to the computer that it's possible to send the data, that is clear to send signal. Once it is activated, then the computer can capable to transmit the data on TXT. So this is the 3 steps comes under single handshaking. Let's see the applications of RS-232C. That means where you can able to use RS-232C. So we have know the example. That means suppose if I want to connect computer and printer, I can able to connect by using RS-232C. And it is also used to establish communication between computer and embedded system. That means wherever you want to connect the embedded systems with your computer system, then that can be achieved by using RS-232C. Then the next applications of RS-232C is because of its lower cost, it plays a vital role in CNC machines and servo controllers. Because of lower cost, that means to purchase RS-232C, we require minimum cost. Because of that reason, it is mainly used in CNC machines and servo controllers. And the another application is it is also used in microcontroller boards. That means these RS-232C is mainly used in microcontrollers as well as PLC machines. So here the RS-232C ports are mainly used to communicate in headless systems in the absence of any network connection. So here the RS-232C ports are mainly used to communicate in headless system in the absence of computer network connection. The last application of RS-232C is many of the computerized numerical control system contains RS-232C port. That means most of the computerized numerical system that includes RS-232C port. Moving further, let's see the limitation or drawback of RS-232C. The main limitation of RS-232C is the lower data transfer rate. That means it is possible to transfer the data at very lower data rate. That is the main disadvantage of RS-232C. So it cannot be used for chip-to-chip or chip-to-sensor device communication. That means the RS-232C ports are not used in chip-to-chip connection or chip-to-sensor device communication. It degrades the performance of the system in the presence of noise. That means if there is any noise in the cable, then it is going to degrade the performance of the system. And it requires shorter cable. That means the length of the communication is take place within a shorter distance. So it requires shorter cables due to having common grounds between DTE and DCE. So here the maximum cable length which is supported by the RS-232C is 50 feet. So because of shorter cable length, we are going to have common ground between DCE and DTE. That means it requires very shorter cable length because all the DTE and DCE have some grounding. Because of that, here we are going to use only 50 feet cable. That means it's going to support 50 feet cable. Then the cost of the system increases as RS232C interface needs separate transceiver chip. That means the cost of RS232C is going to increase because it requires separate transceiver chip. So the last limitation here is its performance degrades to shorter distance. I repeat, the performance is going to degrade for a shorter distance only when you transmit a data at high speed. So when the transfer speed is high, that means when you transmit the data at a higher speed, the performance of the RS232C is going to degrade. So these are the some of the limitations of RS232C. So what is the first limitation? That is the cable length. That means it is going to support only 50 feet cable length. So the data transfer rate of RS232C is very low. That means whatever the data you are going to transfer at the rate, it is very low in RS232C. So because of that, it is mainly used to connect computer as well as printer. These are the some of the limitations of RS232C. Moving further, in the next session, I am going to deal with HDLC and switching technology. That means I am going to do the revision of this unit. Once again, in my next session, I am going to do the revision of HDLC and switching technology. Dear students, in my today's session, we discussed what is X.25 and at the same time, we discussed what is RS232C and what are the applications of RS232C and the limitations of RS232C. Dear students, thank you for watching my session. Let's meet in the next session. Until then, take care. Thank you.